What's up, everybody? This is Blake and Levi. We are the Turn 2 commentators, bringing you another podcast here this week. Got Dega recap, got some sports talk coming up. Levi, how's the week been? How was the weekend?
Doing good, just making sure we stay ahead of the Dodgers in the NL West.
Well, everybody's hurt, so you should be able to.
Yes, and the first time I look at the Dodgers today, Shohei Ohtani's wife chooses his walk-up song, which is the Sailor Moon walk-up song, and he hits a home run off the first pitch of the game.
Wow. Braves lost today, but that's all good.
Yeah, the one time I bet money on the Braves to win because you said something earlier, and I saw Chris Sale on the bump like, "Oh, we got this." Nope.
Yeah, he's 1-3 with like a 5-something ERA. Speaking of ERAs, have you seen Charlie Morton's stats?
Can't pull him up, and I can guess him.
All right, I will let you guess these stats.
Tell me how many starts he's had, though.
I believe he has had
5
or 6 starts.
All right, he has 18K.
Let me pull it up here. Come on. Stats. Where's the stats? Stats. Pitching. All right. Where's this? Oh, wow. Okay, hold up. I got it. It's actually crazy. There he is. Charlie Morton. All right. He has 7 starts.
All right, he has 18 to 21K.
26.
He has 15 walks.
That hang on. Let me go to advanced. How many walks?
15.
26.
He's given up 5 home runs.
I don't know how many home runs he's given up. But
ERA is like 8.8. You said 26 walks.
9.4.
Maybe he's the reason why he's holding them back. Speaking of the Orioles, do
you know his record? Do you guess his record?
Oh, is it a winning record? Mm-hmm. Y'all about to ask, what's the record? Oh, wow. I got to read more information about that before I bring it up since this is about baseball. The winning record, 3-2.
0-6.
0-6? And they're paying him $20 million? Hold on. What? Talk about something real quick. Some breaking news.
Breaking news?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to fix this chair. He's 0-6, 9.4 ERA, and he's given up. He has 28 earned runs. He's given up 28 runs on the season.
28. So he's giving up 4 a game. You're getting a text message.
Okay.
Also, do you know who the number 1 prospect, according to all MLB sources right now, like that hasn't entered MLB yet? It was too much for me to really. I was trying to understand it.
Accused them of failing to protect the girl? I don't understand that. How can you sue someone for that? But okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Do you know who the number 1 prospect, younger prospect is in all of baseball?
The number 1 prospect? Is he in the MLB right now, or is he still in the minors?
Not even. Well, I gotta check, but it's what's the name? Holiday's youngest son. Was it
Uh,
Ethan or Evan Holiday? He's the
the
number
other
one
one.
baseball. They should have put him in the Orioles. Has ever been like the other brothers? But also, how did you feel about what NASCAR said? Your best friend Elton Sawyer.
About what he said.
He said that it was nothing that what is there to fix for NASCAR? We have 4 wide, sometimes 5 wide every time they come off the corner. The fans are standing and cheering. What's there to fix? 67 plus lead changes a race. Even Jeff Burton and Steve Letarte, Steve Letarte, said that that's their favorite style of racing. I feel like they got paid to say that. Jeff Burton, he went like this. What do you mean? I love that style of racing. I call BS on that.
Who the hell loves that?
Are those paid people in the stands to stand up? Or is it just the new generation of NASCAR?
Well, I'm not gonna. So when they're saying fans are standing up, yeah, that's true. But the thing is, with Talladega, it is a 24/7 party all weekend. So people like Talladega for the party atmosphere. Some people could give
The
two
race would be
shits
secondary.
less.
It can be people just going to the infield. In the
Exactly.
crux of the infield, how many of those people are caring about the race and arguing about the race? Like the
Probably in the
crux.
infield, I will say you probably have
I'm talking about
95.
the partying people.
Oh well, I'm saying they're going to watch the race, but they're there to party.
By the way, is there any way we can be on the alley?
Camping on the boulevard?
Yeah.
I mean, we could definitely walk down the boulevard, but I don't know about camping that. That's kind of expensive. But what I'm going to say to Jeff Burton and Elton Sawyer, whoever runs NASCAR, if you think that finish of the race Sunday was good, you need to go get your eyes checked.
I know you say don't like the style of racing. I would prefer tandem over this.
Who wants to watch 2x2x2x2 for 20 rows? And if somebody makes a move, you can't go by yourself because you're going to the back of the pack. We saw it a couple years ago with Kyle Busch. I think it was last year. He had a run, tried to make a move, took the run, fell to the back. You get, like he said on DBC, you get penalized for trying to race.
NASCAR would use the political answer. Well, it's incumbent on the drivers to make a move and do something like that. Nothing's changed. Now, a lot of people bring up the argument about the fuel saving, and NASCAR would say, well, that's on the drivers to save fuel. But then the drivers and teams would say, well, it costs money, and this is a cost-effective way. Look at all the fuel we're saving. Look at all the money we're saving. So,
they're not worried about saving the fuel for the money. They're saving the fuel so they can stretch out their run, so they don't have to. So they can split the stage.
Look. Which in turn, I want them to be without stage racing, like we brought up on short tracks, road courses, and super speedways, and leave it at mile and a half.
Oh, I mean, but here's what's
or take them all away.
But I guess if you want to play devil's advocate here, why is it when? I got a better question. When was the last time the Cup Series put on a good race this year? When was the last good race?
Las Vegas.
And what week was that? 3, 4?
Yeah.
That was 8 weeks ago. We're on week 11. Week 12, technically, if you want to count the bye.
Who came out with 3 separate stages?
I don't know. But what I was going to say was, you got a good. This is why I go to the Xfinity racing. They go see the Xfinity races because it's so much better. That Talladega race this past weekend in person, that Xfinity race was amazing. Like that was some really good racing. They raced the whole time. They did not care about saving fuel. They went out there and raced. People could make moves. You could go top to bottom blocking, yada yada yada. I mean,
The one race, uh, I noticed it last year versus the Cup and Xfinity race. Riley Hurst won it. To me, the best racing I've seen, if I take out the road courses, has been Indy last year.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the Xfinity series, you were able to catch drivers with like 3 little car packs, and
Mm-hmm.
people can get runs. And then, you know how almost like F1 or IndyCar, where you try to break the draft, so they're going all over the track. And then when the Cup Series race, it was completely different. It was boring.
What did the
Because the style of racing for Xfinity series from
did the
the Cup
Cup
race at
cars
Indy.
did the
Yeah,
Cup go to Indy last year?
yeah, it was the first year for the oval
Who
that
won that
NASCAR went
race?
back. I know Riley Hurst won now. The Indy one was when I think Brad K peeled off a pit road right before they were about to say green, and Ryan Blaney didn't win a race. They were coming to the green,
I'm
and
just curious.
the car peeled off on pit road, and then Brad K went with it.
I'm just curious.
Was it HMS?
It was
William Byron?
Kyle Larson.
It was that race. That was the best
And it
race
went
I've seen in the last 2 years.
dang, that Cup race went into double overtime.
Yeah.
Oh, he capitalized on a late race opportunity when Brad Keselowski ran out of fuel just before the restart.
Yeah, he peeled off right before they were about to say go, and Ryan Blaney was behind him. But
Jesus, you scared me so bad. Oh my God.
My mother says when you jump like that, you're not living right.
Well, I just saw a head pop around the corner right here, just staring at me. I thought I was in the Grudge or something.
Well, I have more reason to jump like that because you live with other beings.
Yes,
I don't.
we are on a podcast. We are live.
You got to show your wife some love. A little couple smooches. Or is that Kirby?
No, that was definitely Skylar. Looking like the Purge creeping around the corner like that. That was scary. I'm going to have nightmares now.
Then with her laugh too. But I was going to say, the Xfinity series, honestly, ever since they switched to the Gen car, because what was the first race when the Cup Series switched over? What was the first Xfinity race? When Ty Gibbs won at Daytona. That's how long the Xfinity series has been better than the Cup Series.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier off mic, when I was telling you how the F1 cars are switching to a new generation, you're like, well, isn't it time for NASCAR to switch?
I feel like you should be trying to. I feel like you should always be trying to progress and trying to make your product better. But they're not doing that. Like they just said, why would we need to make the racing better? What do we need to fix?
That's crazy.
You gotta think something is wrong with your racing. You can't sit there and say, "Oh, that was a perfect race."
Think of any racing series that's ever existed. The only racing, take out rally racing because it's hard to make that even better. But every other racing series, they would not say that.
No.
If that's the case, then F1, none of the teams will be trying to improve their car. They would leave it how it is.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's just a wild statement to say.
How about this? Give me a race and give me a series this generation, like this year, as far as NASCAR. And I'm going to give you one, and we'll see which 18-year-old will prefer it. They had never watched the race. Which one would you choose?
Atlanta.
No, for this generation. Okay.
For
and
Cup,
what series?
Atlanta.
For Cup?
Atlanta. I think that is.
Okay, hold on.
That
before
is.
You say that.
Hang on. What I was going to say was, if you're wanting to look, if you're wanting to watch action packed, as they say, lead changes and and all this, Atlanta is arguably a top 3 race right now for Cup.
Okay.
We've had 2 back-to-back 3 wide finishes?
Some of the closest finishes ever.
Right.
Okay, you have that race, and I present to you Atlanta 2004. which one would that person they watch both races? Which one they would prefer?
They're
Which one is a
probably
better
going to
product?
prefer this one, this generation.
So if you're
But
NASCAR,
you're
which there
but you're
is,
NASCAR purist. I mean, I know you're saying a new person, but I wish I could have old Atlanta back.
well,
But
no, that's what I'm saying because that racing seems better. But the one metric in there that's crazy is the people in NASCAR. They're old enough to know when racing was good. They're
no,
they're able to see.
look,
It would be different if a new firm came in and said this is the best racing ever. We're just going off numbers and they didn't see before.
they should know something has been changing for years when you're having to take grandstands out of tracks.
Well, you know the one thing that can help solve this for NASCAR, even though you said they have somewhat of it, they need a drivers union. When's the
Yeah,
last time you heard NASCAR? Well, we consulted with all the teams and drivers and got their feedback, and this is what it is.
I think they need to make a drivers union, and whatever scheduling changes, what kind of tires, what can we use, change the car. They should ask that question to the drivers first.
What would
Do
happen
not
if like
ask don't ask whatever his name is, whoever is in a suit and tie up in the office that's 75 years old that doesn't know nothing about a car.
yeah, what driver do you think NASCAR and the fans, if he says something, they can like kind of like it? Because I take Denny Hamlin out of it because fans don't want to listen. But like, who's like a person like you trust when he speaks for both sides? If he spoke out about something,
Maybe Brad K.
okay. So
I
what
feel
if
like he's kind of
Brad
in the
K?
middle, like because he's on the ownership side, so he kind of sees, but he's also a driver and he knows what he wants. And you could put Denny in
So
that, but
well, Brad K. What if he spoke out and said it needs to be a driver's union?
I felt like a lot of drivers would be like, okay,
Like he said it after the race. He said point blank, I don't like this anymore. Most of the drivers we don't like it. They need that one because what are NASCAR going to do? Silence him, suspend him for a week? They need someone outspoken like the face. They say the face of NASCAR. Is Chase Elliott going to get out the car and say that?
I don't even think Chase Elliott likes NASCAR.
You said you don't think Chase Elliott likes NASCAR?
No.
Honestly, this could be a way. Look, I get paid, and I like the race.
I still don't understand how he's like top 5 in points.
If he's going by that mantra where I don't really care about all the others that I want to race just every week, I'm honestly okay with that. My only problem is NASCAR is forcing him to be trying to make Chase Elliott the face of NASCAR is almost like trying to make Jeb Burton the face of
They're
NASCAR.
not even trying to do that anymore. If you
No,
notice,
they switched. They're trying to do Larson.
Yeah, they're trying to make Larson the most popular driver,
But
which is
in all
probably
actuality,
it's arguably probably working.
but who's a driver who you think treated like Girl Scout cookies? Which driver could you get people to like more than Kyle Larson easily?
Ryan Blaney.
Right.
Like
Kyle Larson is a guy in school who's like the athlete, but he's not popular, and people think he's like mildly attractive. Ryan Blaney's a popular guy who happens to be good at sports. So which one is going to sell more?
Yeah, I don't, man. And I know I like how they came up with this big idea of, I guess, sponsor activation and appearances and stuff like that. And they had a point system, and you got paid. Who's leading that point system right now? Who's the driver doing the appearances and the sponsor plugs, and who's leading that right
You
now?
ever seen the Kyle Larson commercial?
No.
You seen a Ryan Blaney commercial?
Yeah.
I have. You seen the Bubba Wallace commercial?
Yeah.
I think I've seen the Tyler Reddick commercial. Chris Buescher and what's his name? Ryan Priest. They should be plastered on the TV for the sponsors they have and what they look like. How many people you go to work with that look like Chris Buescher and Ryan Priest?
And yeah. And another
See,
one,
you
I
get the
feel like
marketing.
another marketing, and I really love it because it's stuck in my damn head, and Skylar keeps getting mad every time I sing it. But Ride the Dente. The Chili's margarita. That is
NASCAR didn't have a thing anymore.
like, it's like, I heard that song probably 10 times Saturday at Talladega. They played the music video on the big screen.
What's that? What generation was that music for NASCAR when they were like coming to you live from Daytona? What's that? Like be qualifying, be happy hour. That
The
little
Fox
tune.
theme.
Yeah, yeah.
They
I
still
don't think they.
do they even play that song anymore?
I don't even know. I don't really hear it,
I don't hear it either.
and I know they got the little NASCAR thing. It was, I think, on Tubi, but they don't have a racing channel. I mean, it's crazy. You know where eventually all sports are probably going to go, either Prime or Netflix. So NASCAR needs to find a way to keep up with other sports and be able to market itself. When you think of Formula One, they don't even have to show you a race, a highlight. You just know when you see Formula One. Yeah.
Dude, I love this song. I didn't know it had this long intro to it, though.
I never heard anything past that.
See, where do they even play that anymore?
If you show me who made that song, I would think they copied off of NASCAR versus the other way around. Where's Rutledge? Is he in the second part of the season?
Rutledge? Dude, I don't even think he's associated with NASCAR anymore.
No, he did a thing a couple of years, like a year and a half ago.
He's with NBC he's definitely with NBC, but I don't even know if he does it with it. Like,
he did the Siren thing in the special 2 years ago.
Yeah, but he wasn't there last year. But before let's just run down the weekend of Talladega. So, I was live in person Saturday. Went and saw the ARCA and
Xfinity. You were
Grand
Marshal?
Yeah, I drove the pace car. Not even a low key take, but a high key take here. The ARCA race was actually a pretty good race. It wasn't even that bad. It wasn't even chaotic like it normally is when I go and watch that. I don't know what it was. Like they had like 2-3 wrecks, but they didn't have.
Which one is harder? You racing the Talladega ARCA race, or you racing in a jumpy lobby in Heat 5?
Probably in the laggy lobby in Heat 5.
Yeah, see.
But
because on TV it looked good.
Cletus was out there. Also,
guess the engine trouble fix itself.
NASCAR needs Cletus. I'm just going to say that right now. Cletus does not need NASCAR.
I'm not going to name any drivers because you're going to take them down, because I thought they did better than how you thought. But we've seen some people going to the truck series in the last 5 years. You can easily throw them in the truck series. And you can pick the track.
But he broke a valve spring like less than 10 laps in. Kind of lost the draft for a minute. Got lucky with some cautions. And he just stayed in the draft, man, and somehow weaseled his way to a top 10.
Hey, for all the people in the ARCA race, how many people would you choose to work in your car over Cletus?
0.
So if he can probably fix it himself. Yeah, what is NASCAR like? So honestly, if you tell me, guarantee if it was announced tomorrow that Cletus is full-time in the truck series next year, he would be NASCAR's most popular driver in any series.
I agree. And I've been looking for it. I wish that for some reason, I don't know if this is just a conspiracy in me, they will not release the viewership numbers for the ARCA race.
They won't?
No. I even looked it up before we went live. I've seen the Cup race and I've seen the Xfinity numbers, but ARCA numbers have not come out yet. I'm wondering if the ARCA race had good numbers and they're scared to post it. What was that?
I'll be right back. Battery.
uh, but yeah, I've been looking all around for the viewership numbers for the ARCA race. Can't find anything. A little odd, but the Xfinity race was really good. Best race of the weekend by far.
Was
Yeah,
I want
in
them to bring out the
person.
numbers. Show me the numbers.
Well, I have the numbers for the viewership of the ARCA, or
No,
not
I'm
the
talking
ARCA.
about the ARCA racing and NASCAR.
Oh
Show
no,
me the numbers.
I 100% want to see those numbers. I don't know why it was on FS1. Just so the CW got 1.2 million viewers for the Xfinity race. First time since 2017 that the first 11 races for Xfinity have hit over 1 million viewers each time.
I take the Xfinity racing style currently race better than this gen of the Cup Series and the last gen for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, I think I actually skipped that generation of NASCAR when I wasn't watching, and I came back with like the last year.
But same thing. Xfinity race. I know we talked briefly about it. They raced the whole time. There wasn't really no dumb stuff going on. Connor
Yeah.
Zilic took a nasty hit on the last lap, and I thought Jed Burton won.
I can see how
Everything they showed at the track on the big jumbo screen looked like Jed Burton. He was even looking at it. He's like, I look like I'm in the lead right there.
Mostly I agree with that, but I know it is a slanted angle that is looking at,
Right.
and I guess the viewpoint of the thing when if you have like a sky cam you can see, but I feel like Jed Burnett, they needed that win, and they were close. Second don't pay with first base.
Hang on. But yeah, Austin Hill got the win. Whatever, whoop-de-doo. Did all that for an Austin Hill win. But right before we came on, just to jump straight to this, Connor Zilic is not in the race this weekend. Do you know who his replacement is?
Yes, I think someone texted me Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
I give him a top 10 finish.
Okay.
There was some other news as well. You lost again. Just
Yeah, I
reminded
did.
you in case you forgot.
I did lose because you chose.
You lost
Kyle
pretty
Larson.
early, and that Brad Keselowski situation. And Ryan Blaney thought he was scot free.
What are you talking about? I chose Ross Chastain.
No, but that you were texting me the Brad K thing made a mistake because
that was for our DraftKings, which I ended up winning.
No, by technicality.
But I chose Ross Chastain in our little bracket thing here. You chose Kyle Larson.
Okay.
Kyle Larson just so happened to get his best career finish at a super speedway when you pick him.
And he got his first stage win there too.
And I'm just going to go ahead and I know you have said, you've kind of talked about it. That move Ross Chastain did screwed up a lot of people. It screwed him up too because he finished 20th. What were you doing?
He said, look, if I'm not going to get up there, you're not getting up there.
And I went back and watched it. I saw it because somebody posted the replay. I think he screwed Carson Hocevar too. And Carson Hocevar, I mean, he could have arguably probably won the race.
I'm okay with moves like that. You know why? Because, okay, let me ask you about this move. You're in a Formula 1 car. You're first and I'm second. I do a fake dive bomb and it forces you off your line. Should that become a penalty for me?
No.
Just like the move that Ross Chastain did. Yes, I don't think there was no winners in it, but For the style of racing that the Cup Series presents, I like little things like that because if it wasn't for that, it I, honestly is another thing I don't like. It's just me. If you're in first place and you're coming up on a lap car, don't wave no blue flag. For me, if I'm a driver, don't wave no blue flag. It's my job to pass them.
Yes, but
I
that's
don't want to
just the
clear
that's
path.
just the thing. Like that,
Oh, I
the
know
blue
that, but it
flag is
feels
definitely a suggestion. Ain't nobody
yeah,
listening to that
like
unless you're
if I'm
BJ McLeod.
yeah, it got to be like in a cut race and me or you are driving in the cut race. Okay, look, blue flag, get to the wall. But if it's another driver, no, let me get past them. Have my spotter talk to their spotter. And if, let's say, I'm the spotter and, hey, look, man, can you move out the way? We're coming for the lead. You say, no, find your own way. But that's fine. When you're on the highway in your car, do you ask the people, can I get over?
No.
That you
Well, so we got we're just gonna jump right into it. We got Texas coming up.
Hold on, last thing. That's crazy. We have to come up with gimmick ways to like the Cup Series. But when's the last time you even cared at all for someone winning the stage in the Xfinity Series?
I really don't.
You just there to watch the race because the racing is good. You don't Cup Series. Oh, the first stage. All right, they're gonna run this and run that. See the difference?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
Well, before we move to Texas, is there anything else from Talladega that we missed?
Do we forget anything in infield?
I mean, no, I saw some TikToks and crazy stories, but
Yeah, that's what I was leading into. Like, we didn't forget anything, but some of the things, like,
I'm sure there's some people that definitely forgot they were in Talladega.
Who's leaving a 3-foot tall pool of water there? First of all, who cleaned it out?
First of all, where'd they get the water?
I don't know what the water looks like. The real details. Someone left a whole large sectional there. Who brings a sectional out there? And what did you put it in?
Levi, they just threw it on the top of their truck.
And then on top of that, who leaves 10 pounds of sausage, like real sausage, cooked?
You know what's sad? Because, I know we've been talking offline about camping at Talladega in October. Is it bad that I was already looking for free furniture to take just so I could be able to leave it?
Oh, you leaving what?
Leave furniture? Because that's the thing. People that's what they do. They go find, how somebody be like, oh, free couch. And they take it to Talladega and leave it.
Easy chair. No one want to do easy chair. The easy chairs are too heavy.
I mean, I'm telling you,
we can find some now.
It is a different world in Talladega.
What do you think the natural smell is? like Saturday at 2 a.m.
Beer and armpit sweat. That's what it smells like.
What was that story you said that they were having a competition in Enfield and men were catching it?
I don't even know if I want to say. I told my dad this earlier. I saw it. I don't know if it was Barstool or whoever, but they were interviewing people and they're like, what's the craziest thing you saw at Talladega this weekend? And they're like, the guy's like, I don't know if you want me to say. They're like, no, just say it. He's like, are you sure? They're like, yeah. He's like, okay. He's like, it was on the boulevard Saturday night. And we were like, we're just walking down, just, hanging out, partying. And you look up on this bus or whatever, RV, whatever stage.
Reinforced roof.
It had to be a big roof. It had to have some steel under that thing. He said there was 3 to 4 big, I hate to even, large women, butt naked.
You didn't tell me they were naked. What did they do? Said, who's the biggest ones out there? Come on up.
And, the thing at Talladega is just like Mardi Gras. They throw beads out, like whatever. They were throwing beads out, but it's where they were throwing them from. They were pulling them out of their butt crack and throwing them out and tossing them.
You think Sadie and Cindy Lou were helping put it up there for him.
I want to know if they usually get up there, like a forklift. Like,
No, they probably had a forklift there. Someone probably bought 2 forklifts from the trucks and lifted up on the side.
oh,
At a little
also
step.
another thing from Talladega Infield. Cletus, his little RV challenge, him and Greg Biffle and his boys did. They auctioned off the RV Saturday night. Somebody bought his RV for $7,000, and it broke down like an hour away from Talladega Sunday night. They barely made it into Georgia, and it broke down.
I like what Cletus said. What was it? About the boulevard. It was just boobies and cars.
He was like, people at Talladega, all they care about is boobies and race cars.
He probably saw a lot of things.
Oh, he was definitely probably shell shocked. Like, oh my god.
So you wouldn't want to imagine if you looked up right now and it was $60 for a spot. It was the same size that we had at Bristol. Would you get it?
Yes.
At the boulevard. On the boulevard.
Yes. I would.
You think you'd be able to sleep?
No, there ain't no sleeping there. There is no sleeping there.
You think you may get the drunkest you ever gotten?
Yes, 100%. I would probably black out.
You and Roger probably clear like a couple hundred beers.
I'd have to take the whole. I'd have to take the whole week off.
And hey, but we want you here about 3 a.m. on Monday morning. You're like,
I'd have to take the whole week off just to recover.
Imagine you get down there and Skylar says, you lose a bet to her, so you can't get drunk, but she can. So you gotta be sober the whole time.
I'll just go to sleep. Because you'd get there, you'd have to get there either Thursday or Friday. So if you got there Thursday, you got Thursday night.
Yeah, the early pack. Some people there on Monday. They took the whole week off. Oh, yep. Imagine you would have did. Imagine you do that. If you didn't have a week off, you took your whole week off for Talladega. You can do that each year.
Yeah. Which I've thought about doing.
So you get off on Friday, leave Monday morning for Talladega, you're there all week, come back Sunday?
Yes.
First of all, you and your wife get that. Baby number 2 is on the way.
Okay. Talladega, it's a wrap. See you in October. On to Tejas. I hate this track.
Actually, I like the night race.
Let me rephrase that. I don't. Hate's a strong word.
What if they left
Atlanta? I hate that they reconfigured it.
What if they left Atlanta? I got it. You know how we have Talladega and Daytona, right? They're his own thing. We have our preferred mile and a half tracks that we don't have an issue with. To me, why don't you make Texas just like Atlanta and keep those are intermediary drafting tracks? Because Texas has all those. You may see 6 wide.
I'll even do you one better. Take the drafting package off the cars for Atlanta and just run Atlanta normal.
Because you can almost see the cars actually going to that. And put Texas how you have the Atlanta.
Xfinity race, sometimes you can start seeing that happen.
Yeah, no point being on the
you can start seeing the maybe top 6, 7 guys. They start kind of singling out, and they eventually start, and then something happens, and they get all bunched back up.
I honestly believe the way that Texas runs will be a top 4 track if they made it to what they have Atlanta now.
Oh, I agree because it's wide. Yeah, that wouldn't actually be a bad idea.
Because it would look like an interstate. All the cars, is so much space.
I bet they have thought about doing that.
Or I don't want them to do this because then it would take 12 years for it to get fixed. Make Texas longer, but the highest mile per hour and any highway in the United States is in Texas, 85 miles an hour through the city.
Mm-hmm.
If you make that like a interstate, man, I'm telling you.
So, we got all 3.
Hold on. What if they made Texas the last race for the playoffs. Would you prefer that or Phoenix? Current Texas.
Texas.
Okay.
So we got all three this weekend. Trucks Friday night, Xfinity Saturday evening, and the Cup race. We got some notable names in the truck race.
Wait a minute, hold on. Is it a night race for the Truck Series?
Yes.
And Xfinity or one?
I think Xfinity is. Oh, it's 2:00 for Xfinity.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, Brandon Jones is in the race.
Brandon Jones.
Nick Sanchez is in the 07. And guess who was in the 7?
What make did he drive?
He's a Chevy driver.
Larson.
He drives for this team.
Justin Haley.
Carson Hocevar. Returning to the Truck Series.
The truck he's gonna be driving is better than all the other trucks he's driven.
Yeah. So that'll be a good race.
His comparison really is George Russell.
Xfinity, that's 17 cars in the race, but it's Corey Day. Oh, also, did you see they announced that Corey Day, for what is running, he's got more races in the 17. They took him away from Rajah. Rajah was supposed to run some races in the 17 car for Xfinity.
He was?
Uh-huh. So something fell apart there. Riley Herbst is in the race. He's in the 19.
Okay.
Oh, and then obviously Kyle Larson filling in for Connor Zilich.
And Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't think there's any notables in the Cup race.
No, I didn't see any other.
Jesse Love's going to drive in the 62. That's about it.
Don't forget Chad Fincham.
Chad Fincham making the return. Wow. All right.
Okay.
Well, let's get right into it. Who's your pick?
Yeah. Who's my pick?
Who's your pick?
Chad Fincham.
For Texas?
Yep.
That's who you're picking.
What's the score?
7-3.
So I'm not going to waste any good ones. I'm going to take this. So he can be 65 laps down, and whoever you choose can be 130 laps down, still finish behind him.
So you're choosing. I'm writing it down. You're choosing Chad Fincham.
Chad Fincham.
Did you just decide to choose him, or you been thinking that all day?
I just decided.
Who were you originally going to pick?
Justin Haley.
That's funny because I'm gonna go. I'm going Carson Hocevar.
If you see Chad Fincham finishing ahead of Carson Hocevar, you're like, ain't no hope for me.
No, I'm gonna be like, I'm just gonna chalk it up and just give you a dub for everything.
Because if I win the next week, who are you choosing? William Byron. I'm gonna double back.
Well, I've already chose William Byron, and we got Kansas coming up, so
I know who you're gonna choose at that race. You don't go conservative and you choose to win. May not win, but he may be close. And you thought about choosing another driver for Kansas. Depends on if I win or not, because he could win it or he can screw it up in the last couple of corners. That's all I got.
Okay, well, Texas.
Let's go, Chad.
Texas is coming up. Probably going to be blazing hot out there. Hopefully it's a good race. I doubt it, but whatever.
If I had to tell you which heat is better, Texas heat starts basically at the end of March and ends in early November. It's the same heat all year long, but you get more swamp booty with Georgia heat.
Because you got that humidity here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't know how people do it in Louisiana with that humidity.
This is that's it for our NASCAR talk. So for all our fellow NASCAR fans, if you don't like anything else other than NASCAR, then I guess this is the end of the road for you. But we're about to talk about some other stuff, some other sports that don't involve engines. Well, lead the charge, Levi. What you got?
Right now, the NBA playoffs are going on, as well as the NHL playoffs. The Carolina Hurricanes advanced in the series. Well, they advanced. Um, Washington Capitals are doing good. We already know Ovechkin broke Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal scoring, but he would never be the all-time scorer in hockey ever because Wayne Gretzky, he still needs over 1,100 points to pass Wayne Gretzky for assists. And other news, F1's at Miami this week.
Oh, they are?
No one knows. Yeah, no one knows how the race is going to go. Also, Cadillac is having a launch event there. The Cadillac team, since they are there next year, and all notable reporting agencies had Sergio Perez being the number one driver, and Joe Grant, you being the second place driver, because Sergio is going to be there at their event for next year, and Kick Sauber, turns into Audi Racing next year. And let's see, what's another? Max Verstappen is reported to be denied a $330 million 2-year deal to go to Aston Martin.
That's going to be crazy. Speaking of just not even F1 really, but the Rockets are beating the Warriors 76-49 right now.
That series has really been getting heated. I honestly feel like the Warriors will let this game go, assuming that they can win it at their arena.
Does my boy close it out in LA tonight? Oh, Ant Edwards.
I thought the Nuggets and the Clippers were going to be my favorite series, but this Lakers and Wolves series. When LeBron do something, Ant do something. Ant puts his hands on LeBron. He's calling him out, telling them to go home on the last game. I'm telling you, Luka Doncic complaining that every single time. I can't stand this 2-minute report in basketball. It's like, okay, we got the call wrong. It was wrong. Don't tell me that 2 days after the game. What does that do?
Yeah. What about?
I think he gets it done.
I know our last, our little live react to the draft. Notable story. I guess everybody's talking about it, but Shador fell to the 5th round. What is your take on that?
I think he was. I go back and forth with him and Dylan Gabriel because I'm a gigantic fan of Dylan Gabriel. But Tyler Stahl, however you say his last name, from Louisville, he didn't show me anything when I was watching Louisville last year. Some people had Shador as the number one pick. Some people had him above Cam Ward. I think it wasn't that big of a difference in their game, honestly. Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe, I'm slightly a fan of him, but I'm a fan of Jalen Milroe and vice versa for you. I mean, it was a crapshoot with the quarterbacks this year. I mean, who was supposed to be the top 2 quarterbacks? Quinn Ewers and
Carson Beck.
Honestly, okay, if either one of those people or both of them enter the draft this year, where would they be drafted?
Carson Beck probably wouldn't even been drafted.
You think so?
Oh. He had a bad year. If you really go back and look at it, he had a bad year.
What about what's his face? If he entered.
Who?
The other quarterback. Lenore Sellers. What would happen if he entered?
What is coming up here?
No, I'm saying if he was in this draft,
he'd get undrafted. He didn't.
No, I'm saying I think he would get drafted well over Carson Beck. But if I would have told you that at the beginning of last year, you said no, it's no case. Who played better this year, Lenore Sellers or Carson Beck?
Lenore Sellers.
Do you think he would have went deep in the playoffs if you had Lenore Sellers?
Yes.
So, I mean, And then Will Howard. So, like you said, didn't you tell me this was a defensive line,
It was
offensive line?
defensive
But
and offensive line, and normally that's when you got a lot of those teams are going to try to bulk up on those picks
we had a quarterback,
because those are
cornerback, a
valuable
DE.
picks.
Yeah, so it's quarterback, cornerback, DE, or middle linebacker, whatever one you want to choose, and offensive
Offensive
lineman.
lineman.
So normally it's a bunch of skill position
And then
players.
you had a running back 2 picks later.
This is like playing NC double A for like 1 year. Oh, it's big on offensive line, but the next year is big on wide receivers.
Yeah, trying to bolster that roster up.
Now
I am
imagine
really
when
curious. I know we talked about it earlier today, but the Browns took Dylan Gabriel and Shador. We know Deshaun Watson's hurt.
They went to Dylan Gabriel's pro day, the day right before Shador's, and they had dinner with him in private meeting. It was like they were recording too.
Yeah.
Looks like it was the owner pick versus the GM pick.
So you're gonna have Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Shador, and Dylan Gabriel. You would think Joe's getting the start just because he's Joe Flacco.
And some players broke down how each offseason phase goes all the way up until the first game of the season. And Shador and Dylan Gabriel, or Shador for that matter, won't have that many snaps. It may be a lot of handoffs. Joe Flacco, he's probably not going to do. You think you're going to make him work hard in mini camps since he already knows the playbook?
Nah, he's going to throw a couple passes and go home.
Kenny Pickett, if they keep all 4, and then when they get to the season, this is the 3 we're going to have. Take out Deshaun Watson because he's on a pup list.
Yeah.
The Browns may be saying, you know what, we're going to bring 3 quarterbacks in, and we're going to have a quarterback competition, and then the best of the rest, the one they don't choose, they'll trade that person for a top pick. Because imagine they trade Dylan Gabriel, a 3rd round pick. Oh, we can get like 2 5ths, 2 7ths. Then off of waivers. So I mean, look at Will Howard at Pittsburgh. Right now, in your heart of heart, you would bet money. If they both got the equal amount of reps, week 1, who's going to be the starter? Will Howard or what's his face? Mason Rudolph. Who do you think will play better on the field? Forget what they did in the past.
Will Howard.
And there you go.
Which I know it was kind of weird that it looked like Jalen Milroe was going to go to the Steelers.
Everyone thought Jalen Milroe, that's what I kept telling my dad, Jalen Milroe and Shador Sanders were the favorites to go to the Steelers. Either one. When the Steelers came out, I said they're either going to take one of these 2 because I said Jalen Milroe was at the draft the first night in person. So the Steelers are going to take him.
Right. That's what, like, they kind of sort of give it away. Like, you would assume they introduce all these guys on the stage, and those are your first round draft picks.
It could be Vegas messing with people betting who's going to get drafted in the first round.
Oh, it probably was. I mean, I hate that it happened to him, but I mean, Shador thought he was going in the top 10.
I didn't think at the end of the year for us quarterbacks, I didn't look at Shador saying as a 5th round quarterback.
No,
a lot of people a lot of people who haven't played football say he's trash. First of all, I know Mel Kiper's been wrong in his past. When's the last time you seen someone he had high on his draft board all year long get drafted so late? Forget what they did in the NFL career. He had Jimmy Clausen all the way up.
That man thought Jimmy Clausen was the next coming of Jesus.
Yeah. He had him first quarterback off the board all year long during the college football season. And then he got drafted. When's the last time he was that wrong by the quarterback? He may not be good at projecting to the NFL in the NFL, but as far as like talent, from college to where they get drafted, well, I say he's kind of evaluating talent in college and picking where they go. He's good at that. Forget minus their NFL career, But he had Brady Quinn all the way up there. What was Johnny Manziel drafted? First round?
Yeah.
Do you think if Johnny,
I think he was like a 20th something pick.
let's say Johnny Manziel was getting drafted
Or
in
was
today's
he?
NFL with these teams. If Johnny Manziel were drafted to the Kansas City Chiefs with the coaching staff or the Philadelphia Eagles, do you think he would have had a better career than he did getting drafted to Cleveland?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because you know the person that really wanted to take Johnny Manziel, but his son told him no? Jerry Jones. He picked a couple of picks after that. Imagine Johnny Manziel doing the money sign in Dallas.
That'd be
That probably
nice.
would have aided. That probably would have aided to his being drunk because he's staying right in Dallas.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And he's.
Probably.
I don't want to say anything else, but
Well,
also the news with Sombrain. You have to finish on a good note. But what happened to Derek Carr the other day? He had to take his wife to the hospital emergency room. She had to have an emergency abortion, but he didn't even know she was pregnant. So he found out at the moment.
did she know she was pregnant?
It was like real early.
Uh,
It was like she was going to surprise him, but then all of a sudden it happened. It's like Spencer Rattler may get a shot. Spencer Rattler and what's his face is going to battle for the QB1 or 2.
Who's that?
And it says that Spencer Rattler and the quarterback from Louisville. A lot of people like Spencer Rattler in NFL. Oh, what's the other team we thought Shador could have went to? The 49ers. Because do you pay Brock Purdy $50 to $60 million a year, or you pay a rookie?
Yeah.
George Kittle just signed a $83 million extension.
So does that mean they're about to pay Brock Purdy?
They first originally offered $47 million. If you're Brock Purdy, I don't think he really cares about the money. Is Brock Purdy better than Trevor Lawrence? Who would you rather lead your team? You ain't got no other players, just the quarterback.
I would say Trevor Lawrence, but Brock Purdy probably.
You would assume Trevor Lawrence, but I mean, Brock Purdy's been a Super Bowl, 2 NFC Championship games.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is like the guy who looks like he's the best, but isn't. But we'll see this year because they signed a bunch of people. They just signed a D2 wide receiver today, 6'7", runs under a 4.3.
Dang.
And he's a route runner, not just deep threat.
Well, you got
you can't throw an interception throwing to him.
You got any other sport around the sports world news or anything hot takes?
Yes,
anything?
what happened with Tyler Halliburton at the end of the game
with
last
his
night.
dad.
If you were Tyler Halliburton and that was your dad doing that, what would you tell your dad? Cussing and getting into the other player's face on the middle of the court.
I probably wouldn't really be too mad, to be honest.
Well, okay, now what if you're in there and the opposing person didn't know it was your dad and he hit him? But the person hit your dad, but he didn't know it was your dad because he thought it was a crazy fan.
We're still fighting. I don't care.
See, optically.
The optics of it, yeah, definitely look bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm going at.
But it was just it's just one of those things. It was a heat of the moment thing. Like, did
just
anybody
don't do it in the finals?
I mean, I don't know. I don't really keep up with NBA that much, but did anybody really think the Pacers were going to beat the Bucks?
You mean the Bucks beating the Pacers? Oh, you talking about optically? Did they think?
Who was the better team on paper? The Bucks.
You would think the Bucks.
That's what I'm saying.
You would think, but
who was the favorite for that playoff?
I guess from what you're saying is, for any common person watching the game, and you see the Bucks and the Pacers,
You
he
think
would
the
say
Bucks because they
he
got
would think the
Giannis?
Bucks, regardless of like kind of like with NASCAR, like when a person says the driver's good, but you know that the Pacers should win.
Yeah.
But no matter if you think they should win, you tell the ask the average person, they're gonna say the Bucks are gonna win. Only thing I have an issue with is Giannis because he doesn't. He averaged 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 6 assists on like 60% shooting. Damian Lillard had a knee issue coming in, and
He tore
then
his
when he
ACL, didn't he? Or something like that?
yeah, he had a knee issue, and then a couple of games later, he tears his Achilles. So he didn't have no one. I mean, and Halliburton was just recently voted by the NBA players that he was the most overrated player in NBA by his own peers. And soon after the game, he said, overrate that.
That's kind of hard.
And then what did you think about the Miami Heat against my Cavaliers? Therefore, like me and you could have been in the game.
I think the Hawks could have put up a better fight than that.
Some people were like, honestly, the Cavaliers could have won by 80 or 90 if they really wanted to win.
That's what's crazy.
You got to check his grappling. Send him to Dagestan in 2-3 years. That's where you just send your daughter to. Send her to Dagestan to train for 2-3 years. Also, who are you taking in the fight? 100 I'm gonna say it. 100, no, 25 Khabibs, 25 Francis Ngannou's, 25 Derek Lewis, and 25 Charles Oliveira's against that one silverback gorilla.
The gorilla's winning, man.
We didn't check his grappling though.
He don't need it.
I think Khabib and his people, you give him a year of preparation.
Hang on.
They can attempt to get the gorilla.
Hang on.
Because they wrestle bears.
I'm about to pull up the stats. Okay. The measurements.
I think it's they said about 6 feet, about 400 to 600 pounds. And they can pick up 2,000 pounds.
All right, here we go. It's crazy that there's you would think they're taller. Height max out at 6 foot when standing upright. Weight 300 to 485 pounds, with some rare individuals exceeding 500 pounds. Arm span up to 8.5 feet. Estimated to be 4 to 9 times stronger than the average human. Bite force is around 1,300 pounds per square inch. They can run up to 20 to 25 miles an hour. Lifespan 35 to 40 years.
Okay. Do you know who Brian Shaw is? The world's strongest man?
Yes.
The one who's like 6'8", 435. 50 years in, and then 50 of Thor. You think they put up a better fight than 100? Your average 100 men? Because technically, they would be bigger than the gorilla.
Hang on, I'm asking a wild question on ChatGPT. The silverback gorilla could likely lift around 1,800 to 2,400 pounds in a controlled motion like a deadlift. So I said roughly guess how much a gorilla could lift if they were doing weight exercises like a human. It says so if a gorilla trained and had form, it could possibly bench press 1,000 pounds and deadlift over a ton.
A ton. But it's a lot of people who work with gorillas daily and like pet them and nurture them because
they're in a controlled environment, a zoo.
Yes or no, but it's some people like they go to the wild where the gorillas are in Central Africa, and they have like little camps there with them every day, like they're feeding the gorilla and all of that. Those people honestly may have a better chance. 100 of them than the average 100 men because one, they know the inner workings of the gorilla, how to get to it mentally.
I don't.
You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but it's a damn gorilla.
Okay. But also it's different gorillas. Do you believe 50 of you can take a 2-year-old gorilla? 50 of you.
I would assume.
See, right then. 10 of you and a 12-year-old gorilla. That may be a little harder.
That's like their prime.
Yeah, I mean, okay, 2 of you and 1 pit bull. In your cage or your fenced up backyard to the death.
I'm taking the pit bull just by myself.
No, I'm saying, so you believe 2 of you it'd be overkill?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 of you, 1 pit bull, and 2 foxes.
Foxes.
Yep. Each animal knows that they're fighting to the death. Like, because which one you going after first? You gonna go get the 2 foxes at the same time?
No, I'm gonna go get the pit bull.
What you gonna do when the foxes are running after you? Yeah, look, you're naked just like them.
I'm naked. Ain't nobody say that was in the speculation too.
No, both animals in a natural state.
Speculation.
Because that makes it tougher for a man.
Yes, it does.
Tougher for a man. Because 1 bite, that's all it takes. You're down for the count. Down for the count. The first person in 100 men that runs and gets uppercutted by the gorilla, I feel sorry for that person. He probably dies on contact. The only person that can survive the gorillas is the little boy that Lord Harambe was pulling.
Okay, let me ask you this. A grown silverback gorilla or a grown grizzly bear?
Not a brown bear?
No, grizzly.
I'm taking a silverback gorilla. That's the case. Now, if you would have said brown bear or polar bear, I'm taking over the silverback gorilla.
A grizzly bear is on top of the world when it comes to bears.
Not over a polar bear. Polar bear in its habitat.
And brown bear? What?
Yeah, if you ask, polar bears are the most feared in their habitat.
Okay, but a brown bear is not. I'm taking a grizzly bear over a brown bear.
You taking a grizzly bear over well, the brown bears are bigger, or are you saying that the grizzly bears are more fierce?
Yes.
So you taking a brown bear or a black bear?
I'm not taking a black bear.
So, okay, imagine 10 of you and 1 grown adult black bear.
So, okay.
10 of you and 1 grown adult black bear.
I'm looking at bears right now.
That'd be the most watched show in the world. They have real people doing this.
I'm taking a grizzly bear over a brown bear any day. Them things look mean.
10 pit bulls or 1 grizzly bear?
Grizzly bear.
Over 10 pit bulls?
Yes. Why do you keep
I'm just reiterating this, making sure you're saying it. Why do you keep
questioning grizzly bears?
Well, all right, 2 grizzly bears or 2 polar bears. And where the polar bears live?
I'll take the polar bears.
3 chimps or 10 chimps, 2 baboons, or 50 of Kirby.
The chimps are gonna win that.
Kirby can maybe slide through a little bit. Kirby look like she got a mean bite.
Well, that's all I got for tonight.
Yeah.
Y'all, if y'all have listened this far, please. Well, I'm not gonna beg. Just share it, like it, subscribe it, share it. Get us to 50 subscribers. Once we hit 50, we're gonna start doing live shows.
Our shows and Blake's gonna give away free combos at Wingstop.
You know what? I got you right here. If you get us to 50 subscribers, the 50th subscriber for our channel on YouTube, I will give away this Joe Nemechek diecast.
I had no expectation that you were about to pull up a Joe Nemechek back.
So get us there. If you get this
That's
bad boy.
Skittles.
No, that's Bell South, boy.
Bell South. I remember Bell South. I had that as a kid.
I'll keep it right here.
By the way, I was watching Bali Sports yesterday.
How?
They have a channel, Extreme East.
They got bought out by FanDuel.
It said Bali Sports, but it wasn't in this country though.
So
It was
it
in India.
BALI?
No, it was like Bali, like they used to have the Bali South. BALLY.
Oh, all right. Well,
It was lacrosse. Not lacrosse, but cricket.
I figured. Well,
That's all I got.
That's all I got. Catch us at Charlotte in a month. Also, we'll be at the Coke 600. We're camping that weekend. Catch us outside. How about that? I don't really know what else to say.
Yep, I'm good.
All right. Later. Deuces.